Okay, thank you, Kadri. And good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Laurence. I'm Director for AI Innovation here in AI Singapore. And let me share the next 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so, how the programs that we have in AI Singapore and how AI Singapore as a program office has developed over the years. AI, as we all know, right, it is not new. It's been around for a long time. And Singapore, like every other country, have been involved in AI since for Singapore itself, really the 1980s, where we started our digital journey, and we actually had universities and institutes conduct courses in AI and so on. So I myself studied AI back in the early 1990s. And fast forward, and from then until today, right? AI has always been in the universities in Singapore. It's just that it's not so popular. But fast forward to the current times, AI Singapore as a program was mooted back in 2016 as an idea. I was involved in some of the early designs and ideas for it. And by May 2017, AI Singapore was officially announced as Singapore's national AI R&D program. So since 2017 to now, we have been around for 6 years. And just very quickly, original AI Singapore program was split into 3 pillars. And we have funding for researchers, funding for challenges, and then funding for industry development, which is where I come from. And 2017, we introduced the industry development program called the 100 Experiments. By 2018, we had developed a lot more educational programs, which I'll talk about in detail. And then by November 2019, was actually the first time Singapore actually announced its national AI strategy. So AI Singapore as an entity was actually 2 years in the making, 2 years operating actually, before our national AI strategy was officially announced. So it's a bit weird. You would have expected the AI strategy to be announced before AI Singapore came about, but AI Singapore, we are more of a R&D outfit, so the funding mechanism and all is slightly different, and the universities went ahead to develop AI Singapore first. So, like I mentioned, AI Singapore, we are interested in building deep national capabilities in AI, and create social, economic impacts and so on. But more importantly, right, to grow the AI talent here in Singapore, to accelerate the AI ecosystem. And today, we actually have 5 pillars. We have grown from 3 to 5 now, where we fund professors to undertake research in AI. Under AI research, AI technology tries to drive development and research through challenges and thematic programs. AI innovation, which I run, we have developed over the last 6 years a lot of programs to get the industry excited about AI and accelerate their adoption of AI. AI Makerspace, or recently renamed as AI Products, is about creating AI tools for our SMEs especially to use. And to that effort, we have recently announced our own Sea Lion, a large language model for Southeast Asian languages. AI governance is one of the newest pillars, and for them, they focus very much on AI research in the areas of ethics and governance. So when we talk about AI innovation and industry projects, it's a little bit different from what a typical university would do, where a university will focus a lot more on research, and even for their development projects, it's a little bit more of a prototype. Whereas for 100 Experiments, to execute this project, I actually have a team of about 40 to 50 engineers that will actually work with the industry to develop MVP within 7 months. And companies that we have helped brought their projects to deployment stage would include people like IBM, where we actually help them build AI model to predict which of the SKUs that they have recently launched may have return rates, very high return rates based on feedback, based on the SKUs that are being returned for repairs and so on and so forth. Sompo is a Japanese insurance company. We built a fraud detection model for them, very straightforward. GIC is our Singapore Sovereign Wealth Fund, where we built a text model to basically classify and rank documents so that the analysts only need to focus on the top, let's say 5 or 10 documents they need to read for that day instead of the 20 or 30 that they get. We have helped HP, we have helped Q&M, which is a SME. Q&M is interesting. It's a dental chain. We actually help them build an AI model with computer vision that will detect the various dental flaws or disease you have in your tooth and your gums, right, based on a 3D X-ray. So the key thing to remember is that these projects were all done in 7 months, and what we handed over to them is actually something that can go into production. So it's not a prototype, it's an MVP where their engineering team will step in. They'll work alongside with us, but when we finish at month 7, they will take over, and within a month or 2, they can actually go into production. So over the last 6 years, right, we have engaged more than 800 over companies and approved the 100E, right, which is the co-investment sort of model, approved more than 125 projects, of which we have completed 73. And we don't focus on any specific industry because Singapore, is a very small country. I cannot afford to focus on just 1 or 2 industry. I will help any company that is based in Singapore that has a good AI project to execute the 100E for them. So the 100E and apprenticeship program is the one that actually a lot of organizations, a lot of countries find very interesting. It's where through the 100E, we get a real world project in. And if we approve that, we actually co-fund that, right? So for example, we will co-fund 180,000. The company who submitted the project will have to put in 180,000 or so. But of their 180,000, only 30% is in cash. The rest will be in kind. That means their manpower, their domain experts, their IT, and so on. And we'll take the money from them, combine with our money to actually form an AI engineering team, which is shown in the picture here. This team will actually include the AI mentor and 3 to 6 apprentices. Now, unlike universities where you may have research assistants or interns and so on, where they typically spend a couple of hours a week working on the customer's project, in this apprenticeship, my AI engineer, the mentor, and the 3 to 6 apprentices that's assigned to the project actually works full-time on the project, Mondays to Fridays, 9 to 6. So they don't do anything else. They will work on this project full-time, 7 months. And they are supported by a professional project manager. They're supported by our researchers, and they're supported, importantly, by a full-fledged MLOps team. Remember, we are talking about an AI model that has to go into deployment. So we need an MLOps team that's able to assist this team to make sure that their end-to-end pipeline is of production ready. So who are these apprentices? This is a setup of our office. You see, at any one time, the office is really packed with lots of people, apprentices and engineers working hand in hand together. They are all housed in the office. We house them for the whole 9 months that these apprentices are with us. And one of the things that I would like to encourage all my audience, right, to think out of the box. When you want to hire an AI engineer or data scientist, hire based on skills. There's no need to say that you need to have a computer science degree and so on. So the apprentices that we bring into the program are Singaporean, and they actually pass a technical assessment. So this technical assessment is, they're given a data set over 5 days. They have to basically produce a Python pipeline that can analyze the data, clean the data, visualize, build a simple AI model, do a prediction, and then they have to explain the outcome. Now, what's interesting is that if you look at my cohort after doing 14 runs, only about 20% are computer science folks with computer science background. The rest, 25% come from chemistry, physics, maths. 33% comes engineers like myself. And then the rest are actually the arts, the social science, accounting, banking. So within my cohort, I've had lawyers, I've had accountants, I had bankers, I have teachers, and so on. But one of the trait is that a lot of them are self-taught in terms of programming, in terms of AI and ML. So passion is really driving a lot of these folks. You have to remember when we choose to study in the universities, we made the decision to go into a specific discipline when we were 18 years old, very young. After you graduate, you work for a few years, you may say that, hey, actually, I actually like to do this AI ML. I like to work with data, and then I want to switch over. So it's really based on this premise that we created the apprenticeship program, targeting this highly passionate Singaporeans who wants to really cross over into the AI and data science field. Now, one of the motivation for creating this program is as a government-funded university program, it was very hard for me to hire 30, 40 AI engineers from the industry. I can't match the salaries of the Google and the Microsoft and all the big tech that's in Singapore. So back in 2017, we basically decided, okay, let's not compete with these people for the same talent, and let's think out of the box. Where are the other talents that we could bring in, quickly train them up, and then put them on the project? So that's how we came up with this apprenticeship program, identifying the real gems who are actually not ready for, who are ignored by the big tech because they don't have a computer science degree in AI, or they don't have a real-world AI machine learning project in their resume. So we went after these people who with our help, with the apprenticeship, with the 100E, after 9 months, they actually end up with a resume that can easily land them any AI role they want. So what happens during this 9 months, right? Remember, they are already intermediate in terms of Python and AI ML, but we continue to skill them in all the various AI areas, which every batch will change because AI is evolving so fast. And that's one of the things that's unique about our program, because we have very young engineers who are very passionate. They are able to update our curriculum for every batch that happens 3 to 4. We have 3 batches a month, 3 batches a year. The other thing that's different is that we have this other gray portion that is all about ML ops. So remember, we are talking about deployment. So every 1.5 weeks, they actually have to deploy the assignment. So they will get to practice Git, check in, check out their code. They will practice Docker, Kubernetes, and so on and so forth. These are areas which, if you are learning AI and data science, you will not think about, because you're only thinking of building a great model with the latest, greatest algorithm, getting very high accuracy. You never think about deployment. So for our apprenticeship model, the deployment, the ML ops is actually the most interesting for a lot of the apprentices. So over the next, during the project phase, more or less, the first 2 months is spent understanding the data, doing the feature engineering, understanding the domain, and then after that, we built the first baseline model. And by month 4, we actually built up the initial end-to-end pipeline. And from there on, we continue to iterate. And the last 1.5 months is really about documentation and handing over the project to the customer. Now, because we actually have a big team, 1 engineer, 3 to 6 apprentices, supported by ML Ops team, we can actually make use of all the enterprise tooling that is very typical in the enterprise and the big tech today. if a traditional university internship model where you have one or two students working on a project, they'll never be able to use all of this tooling, and they won't have the mentors that will be able to guide them with this tooling. Whereas we actually have very experienced mentors, some of which come from the industry that have worked with myself for the last 20, 30 years. So moving on, with the apprenticeship model done, we continue to introduce new talent development programs into the industry. Now, my original ask of the government of me was to do 100 AI projects, the 100E. But along the way, I found that there was a lot of gaps that we had in Singapore, right? So you have to remember, it's not like someone thought of the whole AI Singapore plan and it was ideal and perfect from day one. It's not. We had a lot of gaps. We needed AI engineers. We couldn't hire them from the industry. We can't match the market rate. I created an apprenticeship program. When I went to talk to companies to encourage them to use AI back in 2017, they were very afraid of AI. They said, "Oh, will I lose my job? Will I accidentally create Terminator," and so on and so forth. So I created AI for Everyone, where it was a 3 hours session to really demystify AI. And yes, I will teach them what is AI, but more importantly, it was also a way for me to make sure that I have the right people in the audience that I can sell my 100E program to. So the AI for Everyone was really the one that helped build up my sales pipeline within 2 years to nearly 300 customers, right? And today it has gone online, but our pipeline has continued to build on its own. Other courses we introduced were for the working professionals and so on, but we also did not. We also want to make sure that I continue to get a very big, very broad pipeline coming in over the next 5 to 10 years. So I built a team really to bring AI down back to the students. So today, the students, even from primary all the way to secondary and schools and the polytechnics, all has access to our AI materials, which is all free for them. So all the schools have adopted AI for Everyone. Even the Singapore Civil Service, the college that trains the government officers, uses AI for Everyone as a foundation course. So that's all about the building the talent and then training. Let's move on to how can we help the SME to accelerate the adoption of AI. So after working with 300-400 SMEs and organizations, we found that we needed a way to classify them so that my salespeople, my consultants don't spend too much time with a company when they are actually not ready for the 100E. So we created this AI Readiness Index where with just 12 questions, so a CIO or IT manager needs to only spend about 10-15 minutes to answer these questions. And with that, we can easily classify organizations into AI unaware, aware, ready, or competent. And we look at areas like organization readiness, ethics and governance readiness, business value, data, and infrastructure readiness. So each of them have like between 2 to 5 questions. And the value of this is this, right? When we are able to segment the customers into the 4 categories, if a customer is deemed to be AI unaware, there's no point for us to sell them the 100E program because that's about building an AI project. When they are AI unaware, we will tell them, please go and do the AI for Everyone. Please become AI aware. Please understand what is AI first, right? Whether is it for the management or is it for the workers themselves. And after that, they'll move to AI aware. And AI aware, they are still not really ready to undertake AI projects with us. We want them to become smart consumers of AI. So for SME, they now will know how to buy and acquire AI or digital products into their organizations to help them with their work. Now, it is not our intent to move our SMEs, all our SMEs from unaware to aware to AI ready or competent. It doesn't make sense. if I can move 90% of my SMEs from unaware to aware, I think we have done our job. Now, obviously, some of these SMEs will be highly technical and they want to do more. Then we get them to AI ready, where we help them with the 100E projects. We help them execute their first projects. And hopefully with that, they can start to build up their own team and become AI competent. So at every category, there are specific intervention programs. So once we know where they are, it's easier for us to intervene with the right set of programs, the right set of government grants and so on to help them adopt AI. So this AI Readiness Index is something that we have released under a community license. So I more than welcome Estonia to adopt it. In fact, I'm involved in this global partnership on AI under OECD, which I co-chair one of the working groups. And I've actually donated this AI Readiness Index for them to the broad adoption of AI by SME. And we have actually built a portal that embeds this. So, unlike most of these committees where, they publish a report after a year's work of discussions and it gets announced and that's it, we went ahead one more step where in our report, we say it is necessary to match SMEs to curated AI solution provider. We actually have a portal that does the matching. We say that it is good for the SMEs to know where they are in terms of the AI maturity. We actually have the AI Readiness Index in there. And when we say that we must have a systematic way to curate and grade solution providers, France actually contributed the solution provider maturity index. So this is a global effort, and more than welcome Estonia to join GPay and join our group in 2024 or 2025. So this whole portal and AI Readiness Index has already been launched. Obviously, Singapore and Poland actually have our portal up. The next up will be, I think, France, Germany, and potentially Serbia. So I'll stop here. This is my last slide. This is a big overview of the various programs that we have. Again, we only started with the 100E as the only program, but along the way, we created a lot of other programs because there were just a lot of gaps and which needed our intervention and help, where we created a whole learning, what we call Learn AI, training programs for the students, for working professionals to create an AI-aware workforce. And for some of the more capable ones, they want to become AI engineers, we have the apprenticeship program. We created the AI Readiness Index to basically help accelerate the adoption of AI by SMEs. And for those who have gone into it, we have other programs post 100E to help them to really deepen their skills in AI and go from going from aware to ready to competent. So with this, I'll end my talk. Thank you very much.